Real-Life Construction Management Guide from A to Z by Jamil Sokar. Narrated by Jamil Sokar. Produced by the Ewing's Publishing.
Chapter 1. The Undisclosed Factors. The main message of this book is that human factors and personalities are big factors in managing construction projects. I published this article a few years back, and I thought it would make a good start for your reading to set the stage for that main theme of this book. We often hear about various problems that take place on construction projects. Most common problems include a bad set of plans, a contractor not performing well, delays, unforeseen conditions, change orders, etc. These are legitimate and real issues that we have to deal with. However, I would like to talk about the undisclosed causes that often contribute to the problems and disputes. These are factors that the project team often does not disclose or admit exist. This is what I am referring to as the undisclosed factors. Construction project teams include a wide variety of people, including but not limited to architects, owners, construction managers, inspectors, community members, city officials, general contractors, subcontractors, and sometimes more parties. If we assume that the measure of success for all these people is the success of the project, shouldn't you logically assume that this common goal is enough to make everyone work together and help each other out? Obviously, that is not the case a lot of times. Often we get disputes and claims. Sometimes there are legitimate reasons to these conflicts, and sometimes it is because of the undisclosed factors. Please read on. Many years ago, I was working as a project manager for a general contractor. We were at one of our weekly site meetings discussing a construction problem that needed a resolution. All of the above-mentioned parties were present at that time. Each one contributed his or her feedback to resolve the problem, and gradually the atmosphere became tense and adversarial. While I was silently listening to the various proposed solutions, I was privately thinking, the solution to this problem is so simple, and I can get it done if only these people will leave us alone and go back to their offices. I went on to think, why are they complicating this issue? Well, this is when I realized that each one has a different agenda, a different set of fears and liabilities, and each one is trying to push a solution that fit his or her agenda, not necessarily the best solution to the problem. On another project, I saw an inspector giving one of the subcontractors an unusually tough time passing the requested inspection. They almost got into a fistfight. I later took the inspector to the site and asked him why. His answer was not technical or referring to a specification section. Despite the fact that the loud argument was all about specs and plans, his answers was simply, this sub doesn't talk to me with respect. Sometimes conflicts on site arise because of personality conflicts between the parties. Again, no one admits that, but instead they look through the contract documents to find clauses that may give their position a contractual justification if interpreted a certain way. Most of these people do not admit the above. Instead, the conflict grows larger. That is why I call them the undisclosed factors. Managing a construction project requires a skill in managing personalities and characters of the involved parties, in addition to the required technical knowledge. Relationship counselors often teach that when you enter into a relationship with a person, you're taking in the person plus what they call baggage, which is all his or her background, flaws, strengths, and pasts. The same applies to the project's team that just met and has to interact with each other on a daily basis for the duration of the project. Perhaps project specifications should allocate a budget for a relationship psychologist. A wild idea, but it may help save money by having fewer claims. I have managed a lot of projects through my career from both sides, the contractors and the owners. What I concluded is that to have a smooth running project, there is no substitute for building relationships based on fairness and flexibility, focusing on solving problems rather than placing blame, and being practical and promoting that works. All parties have money at risk. Make sure that all parties are profitable. I certainly don't mean to paint a bad picture about professionals managing projects. In fact, through my career, I have had the good fortune to interact with more good, helpful professionals than the ones described above. I can write a whole new article citing examples of great inspectors, architects, and construction managers that helped me resolve problems and got projects to a successful completion. I'm simply trying to raise awareness about the above factors that do exist and should be kept in perspective. Different people look at a project like the people below see the elephant. Your job as the construction manager is to manage all the players to make them see this elephant. On page 3, there's a picture of an elephant, and there's about 6 people looking at the elephant from different angles. One guy looking at the tail says, "This is a rope." The other guy looking at the body says, "It's a wall." One says, "It's a tree." "It's a fan." "It's a spear." So everybody looks at it differently. Your job is to get them all together to look at it from the same perspective.
Real-Life Construction Management Guide from A to Z by Jamil Sokar. Narrated by Jamil Sokar. Produced by the Ewing's Publishing.